too. Hi. so, today I just wanted to talk about not tea as much as I really need tea. I just came in from outside. These sweet potatoes here. Last time we were on, we talked about growing your own sweet potatoes from store starts. And okay, can you grab that for me, please? These are my store starts. So, thank you. They've gotten tangled on me. Yeah, it's okay. So I wanted to just see if you had any questions about getting your sweet potato started. These are literally hanging on the floor tangled. I didn't realize they were tangled before I picked them up. But I wanted to see how yours were going. I saw someone said that they planted theirs 3 weeks ago. I have not planted mine. I'm very naughty and I'm very, very late getting them out. Things have just been very hectic here on the farm, and I'm making a hot mess. Munchkin, would you grab that for me, please? Anyway, let me know if you have questions about getting your sweet potatoes in the ground, how they're going. Hi, Rob. Hi, Linda. Thank you. I love my kids. Any other questions about your gardens? There are lots of things going on right now. There's the potatoes and onions should be growing well. Sweet potato vines, depending on where you live, you could have planted them already. Here in Jersey, it's crazy hot right now, but the weather's been a bit fickle up until the past week or so. So now is really the time that I kind of just took my time to put them in. So I'll be putting them in and I'll keep you posted on how they're going. Thank you. Okay. So what are you putting in right now that you might have questions on? And I know this was a last minute sort of video, but I wanted to just touch base and see how everyone was doing. And see if anyone had any questions. It's just been so busy around here. We've had a lot of predator issues with our animals, and so it took me some time to get back online. So while we wait to see if anyone has questions, things that you can be planting right now besides sweet potatoes. Your corn, depending on your area, you could have put it in already. People probably started putting their corn in here about a week and a half ago. So I'll be putting some of that in. You can actually start your broccoli and cauliflower inside now. I mean, truthfully, you can put it out as seed. It'll take a little longer, but you can do it because it's so hot. Broccoli in particular does really well right now because it germinates in warm weather. It bolts when it gets too hot, but by the time it gets to the size of bolting, the weather will be cooling down. So, people think they can't plant broccoli right now, but in actuality, you can. And you can make a really good go of it, actually planting it out now. Cauliflower and things like that are, they prefer a little cooler weather. So I would start those indoors so that later in the summer, you can get them outside and to mature size before the cool weather comes in, which they love, but keeping them over the very cool weather and over the winter, they're not going to grow over the winter. You want them to be a mature size before winter comes so that you can protect them and eat off of your cauliflower and your greens, especially your greens, all winter long, and your carrots and beets. So late summer, start putting those things, anything you want to eat all winter long and protect, put those things in late summer. But there are things now that can go in, like the broccoli, which will do very well. And if you have greens that are heat tolerant, those are doing very well as well. Okay, so we're going to make this a short one. I particularly wanted to talk about the sweet potato because I was so stunned by how well they did in this, sort of store-bought scenario. I mean, I really want you to have a look. This is all roots. I don't know if you can see that. Like, that's full of roots. This is one of those little, rice containers that you buy, but this is just completely full of roots, the whole thing. And it's just a sweet potato that was bought from the store that I put a couple toothpicks in to hold it above the water and it just went nuts. So, and there's a bunch of them hanging down, you know, on the floor down there. They're all over. That's a better view. So you can use store-bought food to grow more food. It doesn't have to be a situation where you're desperate for seed and all that other stuff. Any questions? Come on, hit me with some questions. And then I'm gonna go back out, and I've been working on the back garden beds. I can't wait to show you that video, totally revamping the back garden beds behind the kitchen garden. I would say totally revamping, but doing it up. So I'm hard at work out there in the heat, but I want to get back and do that as well, and share that with you. It's a really fun project. It's a big project, but it's a really fun project. So let's see. If you are putting questions up, I'm not getting your questions. Someone said to me that in the parties, the watch parties, you can't see the questions from the watch party. So you're gonna have to do it individually and get on and ask the questions. So if you have questions, someone text me and tell me that. So if you do have questions, you're gonna have to let me know. Hi, Alexia, Shante, Sandra, Tina. So anyway, that's the deal. That's where I am right now. I am getting everything in. So if it's in seed form, in the next few days, it's going to be in the ground, basically. You know, or my cool weather plants, I might plant a couple indoors that don't do well in such heat. But we're getting everything in. We've got charity gardens that's going to be starting. We've got a donor garden with extra potatoes and onions. Seed saving garden is going in because we actually want that to bolt and go to seed so that we can save those seeds, but it has to be separate. You don't want to be mixing. That didn't sound good. You don't want to be mixing certain things. Certain tomatoes will cross. So if you're particular about those things crossing, you need to make sure that they're a good distance. Same thing. So there's a lot that can be done right now. All right, we're going to give 5 minutes. Hi. And then, okay. And should say I got water everywhere. And then I'm going to head back outside. Yes, I just took a sweet potato. I put a toothpick on either side to hold it maybe halfway up in the cup with the bottom half of the sweet potato in, and you fill it with water, and it just grows. I mean, I'm trying to find one. This one is an easy one. I actually used this is a smaller one. This is actually a cut in half sparkling water bottle. And it actually, if you cut them in half, you'll find there's 2 layers. And so we just pulled 1 layer out, and you put the toothpicks in. This one happens to have 3 because of the size. Holds it on top, fill it with water, and watch it grow. So all of these roots that are down in here, when you vine, you would take the whole section as well as the roots and plant that. And that gives you 1 sweet potato plant. So in this one, you've probably got 1, there's another one coming, 2, 3, 4, 5, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 on that one. And the big ones that have just fallen everywhere, they're probably a lot more. So yes, it's very easy to do. You can do the same thing with onions. This one didn't fare so well, so I kept it in the house. But this is the same thing. It's actually gotten, for whatever reason, as they get older, they make the water really yucky. And so you have to keep refreshing the water. But it's the same concept. Those onions, that's just a store-bought onion that I put in some water that has started to grow in the middle. And I decided I didn't want to throw it out, and I just thought I'd try it in the window. So that one, I wasn't sure about putting in the ground because the bulb itself is so wet. I wasn't sure if it would rot, but I'm at the point now where I want it all in the ground. Either it's going to grow or it's not, but I'm going to put it in the ground. I had a lot of things that actually did not do well. I had some tomatoes, I had some peppers, I had some that have done really well. I had some that they were so protected in the house, even with brushing them and to give them a little strength with the wind. They got out there in the beginning in the cooler weather. When the cooler weather hit, we had a frost. and they couldn't handle it at all. And then you had some that hadn't had the advantage of being germinated outdoors, and you could see the difference in terms of the strength of the plant. Most of your plants, when you get bug damage, it's usually because your plant is weak. Strong plants don't really succumb to bug damage, excuse me. They might get some bug damage if you have a problem, but they usually will not die from it unless it's a weak plant in terms of its strength, or the problem or infestation with the bugs or the virus is extreme because you have not been watching it and you kind of neglected it and left it to do whatever it wants to do. Then okay, then even a strong one will succumb. If you get, squash vine borer and it's tearing up your main stem, your main vine, and you don't catch it because you're not kind of maintaining and stewarding and caring for that plant, and you don't see it, then yes, it can destroy it. But a strong plant, I've got some that had some squash vine borer, but the truth is they're thriving. And the ones that are thriving the best are the ones where the seeds were planted outdoors. So that's a lesson. That's a new one for me here in Jersey, is the fact that the ones that planted out are doing better. Grew my slips a few months ago from store-bought. Planted them outside a few weeks ago. Awesome. And you're in Michigan, so how are they doing? Have you guys had a cold snap in that time? Because I know Jersey, when it first started getting really hot, everybody bought their plants and started putting them out, and then we got a really bad frost. So I lost quite a few plants in that frost. I don't know how long it takes to grow. Sweet potatoes take a very long season. So if you got them out and they're growing and they didn't succumb, because sweet potatoes don't do well with frost. So if they're growing, Ashley, and they don't look damaged, you're going to be, think Thanksgiving. Well, maybe not that long because they won't tolerate that cold. But, it's a fall harvest, late summer, fall. Sweet potatoes take a very, very long time to grow. So I would just, check them and make sure there's no bug damage on a regular basis, making sure you look under the leaves and check your stems. And if they're healthy and thriving, don't even think about them. Just forget they're there until it starts getting cool, or the plants start to wilt a little bit or show signs that they're starting to die off, and then you dig them up. Or you can every now and then feel underneath to see if there's a sweet potato that's ready for you to eat. But I some things I like to put in and forget about it because it takes so long. It just drives me nuts. It's like watching water boil. Watch pot never boils. So I would just say, enjoy it. Take your time with it. Oh, yes, Cousin Tina, you have to visit. I'm so excited about what's going on with the garden. The birds, the poultry is taking up a lot of time, especially in the heat. And because of our predator issue, it's taking a lot more time. We can't just open them up and let them, completely free range, because we've lost so many chickens and ducks to predators. We've got a bobcat here on the property. We've got coyotes, we've got foxes, we've got hawks, and everything likes a chicken dinner, and apparently a duck dinner too. So we've lost quite a few animals. So trying to keep everyone pasture raised and letting them free range when I'm out there or when someone is out there with them in the area is a lot of work. A lot more work than you normally would have. So that's one of the reasons too that I haven't been online with the Q&As, is just simply trying to manage the bird system a bit more carefully so that we're not losing our animals. We lost one of my daughters, her rooster. He's a blue-laced red Wyandotte. Absolutely gorgeous Patch. We were doing videos on Patch from a chick. And he was just gorgeous, but he would not stay inside the fence. He was an escape artist from being a little chick. He would slip under the fence, even if it was on. And unfortunately, that kind of did him in. So it's been rough going with the predators. Okay. The other thing we've been doing is we have a proper little flock of lambs now and sheep. We now have a dozen. So we've gotten our main sire ram the other day. and some new females and some new young lambs. So that is super exciting. So, you know, a lot going on. How is everyone doing? Has everyone gotten all of their starts out, or are we trying anything new? I know Ashley said that this was the first time trying sweet potatoes. I know a lot of people are growing gardens for the first time. Is there anyone who's growing for the first time and has questions or things they're not sure about, whether it's going well or pest problems or anything like that? Before we go, I want to make sure I get everyone's questions. What's the weather like in Michigan anyway right now? I mean, it's boiling here. It's like 95, literally 95 degrees. You go out there in 10 minutes, you're pouring with sweat. And I like the heat. Everyone's summing up. Yeah, it's probably quite hot there too. All right, loves. If there are no more questions, I'm gonna say keep gardening. If you have any questions, simply inbox me. If you message on this video, I will get it and I'll reply to it. So please do hit me up if you have any questions. I'm gonna go back out in the hot sun and work on my project, which I am having so much fun doing. I can't wait. So let me know if you have any questions. Don't forget to live life full out. As always, love, inspiration, faith, and empowerment. Get a life. Take care.